Spider-Man Far From Home is only one day away, and with it coming out so soon, everybody has been asking the question, will Tony Stark appear in Spider-Man Far From Home? How's it going, everybody? It's Warren, and a lot of people are thinking that we're going to see Tony Stark in Spider-Man Far From Home. Tony Stark made the ultimate sacrifice in Avengers Endgame, giving up his life to save the rest of the universe. And in the Spider-Man Far From Home trailers, TV spots, and clips that we've all seen, there are a number of different references and tributes to Iron Man and Spider-Man Far From Home. And something very interesting that one of the producers has said is that Tony Stark is going to be helping Peter Parker throughout the film, and that you can feel his presence throughout the entire movie, and that he actually had a secret that Peter Parker is going to discover in Spider-Man Far From Home. So if Tony Stark is such a big influence on Peter Parker in the film, how does he appear and help him? I'll break it all down, but quick, if you'd like to win a Captain America shield, an Iron Man helmet, an Infinity Gauntlet, or another Marvel Legends item, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm doing a giveaway at 450,000 subscribers. I'll be picking 3 winners. So again, even though Tony Stark and Iron Man are gone, does not necessarily mean that they won't appear in the film somehow. And producer of the film Eric Carroll has already confirmed that in Spider-Man Far From Home, Tony is still going to be helping Peter Parker. In a recent interview, Eric Carroll said, "His presence is very much felt, and Peter still obviously references this is the suit that Tony gave him. Tony and Happy help him out in many ways along this movie. He's very present, he's just not in the movie." So after many fans heard this, everybody was sort of starting to wonder, how exactly is Tony going to help Peter Parker if he's not in the movie? Well, as it turns out, with the exception of Peter Parker, the movie is really going to be all about Tony Stark. And this is according to the director Jon Watts, who said that going into Avengers Endgame, he did not know that Tony was going to die and that he was going to have to pick up right after that. And in a recent interview with comicbook.com, when Jon Watts was asked if he knew that the death of Tony Stark would have such a big influence over Spider-Man Far From Home, he said no, he didn't. Speaking more about Tony's death and the influence that it would have over Spider-Man Far From Home, he said, "Coming out of Homecoming, I had no idea. When I found that out, you realize, oh, that's not something you can just address and then move on. That's what the movie is going to be about. There's no way around it. If anything, it focuses you on the kind of story that you're going to be telling." So, Jon Watts has shaped the entire film around Tony Stark passing away and Peter Parker having to deal with that. So Peter Parker is going to carry Tony Stark throughout this whole entire film. But as far as what producer Eric Carroll said about Tony Stark helping Peter throughout the movie, it's pretty obvious how he does that. All the technology that Peter is going to get throughout the movie is going to come from S.H.I.E.L.D. or Stark Industries. For starters, we know that Peter is going to get Tony's glasses, which have a new AI in them. We've already seen this in a trailer. Happy gives Peter the glasses, saying that they're from Tony and that he wanted him to have them. So that's obviously Tony helping him. Another thing is the Iron Spider suit that Spider-Man will wear in the beginning of the movie, that is obviously from Tony as well. But then we see at the end of the movie, when all hope is lost, Happy Hogan shows up with the Stark Jet. We know that Peter doesn't think that he can do it. He doesn't think he can be the next Iron Man without the help of Tony Stark. But of course, Happy tells him that Tony wouldn't have made the sacrifice if he didn't know that Peter was going to be there. And this is where we kind of discover Tony Stark's secret, which is his workshop in the back of the plane. Now, this is just one of many secrets that Tony Stark has, but we're finally going to see Peter make his own suit via Tony Stark's technology. So in a way, Peter and Tony are making a new suit together. So really, Tony is going to be in the whole entire movie, not to mention that everybody else is going to be mourning the loss of Iron Man as well. So there won't be any lack of Iron Man in Spider-Man Far From Home, but the real question is, will Tony appear in some form of AI? This is probably the biggest question going into Far From Home. We know that Peter gets a new AI in Far From Home. Could it be Tony? This probably isn't likely. They're probably just going to have Robert Downey Jr. be done with the character for some time now, so the AI that Peter gets in the movie probably isn't Tony's voice. However, Tony could have recorded a hologram message for Peter just like he did for Morgan and Pepper. Peter was just like a son to Tony, and since he recorded a message for his daughter Morgan, it would make sense that he would record a message for Peter. So could we possibly see a hologram message from Tony Stark to Peter in Spider-Man Far From Home? Be sure to comment with how you feel about Tony's presence being felt throughout the entire film of Spider-Man Far From Home. Also comment with your favorite superhero or villain, like the video, and subscribe to my channel so you can enter my giveaway and stay up to date on everything relating to Spider-Man Far From Home and all things Marvel. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.